Alright, so recently we did a review of AeroOS 12 for the K20 Pro, and off lately I have been using that on my Mi 11X, also known as the Redmi K40 and the Poco F3. So I've been using it since the last 2 days, and I've ran benchmarks, I've done the battery tests and things like those, and I thought that this is a really smooth, fluid and amazing ROM for which I should make a review on the latest update and share it with you guys. So in today's video we're going to look at the complete review of the latest AeroOS official Android 12 version, and we will see what are the good things, what are the bad things, and should you use it as a daily driver or not. But before we get into the details, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell icon because it doesn't cost you anything and it really motivates us to make amazing content like this. If you think you like chatting with like-minded people, well, join us on Telegram. We are about to hit 1500 members over there, and you have a ton of useful info and helpful people over there. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We are present there. And last but not the least, if you think the hard work is worth the effort, please click on the join button and support the channel. Now, without further ado, hello awesome people. Welcome to PhoneOps. My name is Kailash. Let's get going. Alright, so let's see what we have here. Right off the bat, AeroOS official ROM S Alioth, that is version 12. This is updated on the 5th of December 2021, and if we talk about the changelog for the device over here, device changelog props update the transcoding operating rate, props use fuse pass-through by default. These are technical terms, remember. Add permission OpenGL ES DEQP, miscellaneous fixes and upstream changes. Kernel side changes, miscellaneous fixes and upstream changes. For full ROM changelog, go here. Now the notes section does mention recommended use with firmware part MIUI 12.5.4 and newer. I flashed it with 12.5.5 Indian. Installation instructions, click here. Recommended move from Aero 11 with clean flash. So a question that I get asked so many times, if you're going to come from Aero 11, that is based on Android 11 to 12, can you do a dirty flash? No. No matter what the device, if you're switching Android versions, if it's a stock ROM, if it's a custom ROM, a stable beta, whatever it is, as long as you're changing Android versions, it is always highly recommended that you back up all your information and do a clean flash to ensure that there are no major issues. Now let's come back to AeroOS over here. The moment you boot into this ROM, you get a very subtle and simple wallpaper. Not much going on over here. Not even the Google search bar is not present at the bottom. At the same time, you have these basic icons. This ROM does come with Google Camera Go, so that takes care of your camera worries. At least, some basic pictures can be clicked and you can go Gcam if you want a full-blown photography experience. To the left, of course, you have the Google feed, which works absolutely fine. The small stutter that you saw was because it was probably updating, right? So the Google feed works absolutely okay, no problem whatsoever. And the good thing is that the transition, as you can see, the moment you go from here to here, it's butter smooth. Now you do have your quick tiles over here. Now one thing I will mention over here is that the ROM is really smooth. I have been saying this again and again. I cannot stop saying this every single time, but the ROM is really smooth. AeroOS 12's latest version is working brilliant, to be very frank. Now you do have a built-in screen recorder which records internal and external audio. So the moment you click on start, you do get a timer over here. Swipe to the left and you have the Google feed working absolutely fine, no stutter, no jitter. Even if you go to the UI, you launch settings from here. Let's do all the activity. Let's go to about phone. Say let's go to Android version. Let's enable the, there you go, AeroOS version 12 Easter egg, as you can see. There you go, brilliant. So if you go ahead and now stop the recording. Now another thing to note over here, no matter what you do with the UI, the Snapdragon 870 on these custom ROMs is doing a brilliant job. Let's see how good the recording video and audio quality is. Swipe to the left and you have the Google feed working absolutely fine, no stutter, no jitter. Even if you go to the UI, you launch settings from here. Right, so the screen recorder is working fluid, brilliant, no problem whatsoever. If you press and hold over here, you have home settings, which gives you access to some developer options and some customization. I think it is the Aero launcher if I'm not wrong. Then you do have this Android S Easter egg, which is paint chips and all the other widgets which are working absolutely fine. If you talk about the quick tiles once again, you will see that we have some extra quick tiles over here present. We have caffeine, we have extra dim, ambient display, USB tethering. So, these shortcuts are present, although I still miss the FPS counter. I really think, custom ROMs should start including that. But the app drawer is pretty rock solid, pretty smooth. Even if you talk about the multitasking over here, the RAM management on this particular ROM is excellent. It's doing a great job. If you go ahead and press over here on any app, you have kill, split screen, uninstall. So screenshot is there, which works like a charm, and then you have the clear all option. So expanded screenshot and all the other things are working fine. You do have the 3-finger screenshot gesture working absolutely okay, no problem whatsoever. Now we did go to the about section there, and if you talk about the kernel info, this is the Aero kernel that they are using. This is the build date, and it of course comes with a November security patch. I think Google is yet to roll out, or they might have rolled out the December security patches, and we will see that soon on custom ROMs. Right now you do have things like network and internet, under which you have internet for your Wi-Fi and connectivity options. You have network preferences. You can turn the Wi-Fi on automatically. You can notify for public networks. Then you have all these things. Apart from that, if you go to calls and SMS, you have all the features that you would need, including Wi-Fi calling and other things. Right now you do have connected devices for pairing of Bluetooth and stuff. That works absolutely fine. If you further go to apps, you have all the default apps and app management. Then you do have notifications, in which you can go ahead and enable notification history. That will really help you. You do have bubbles. Remember, WhatsApp doesn't support bubbles yet, but with Android 12, bubbles are working even better. So that's good. Now moving on, if you go to battery, you do have thermal profiles, which gives you access to different thermal profiles, but you don't really have the 180 Hz touch sampling rate. So that feature is missing. Battery percentage can be enabled. Now, as far as the charging of this particular ROM is concerned, remember this is a Mi 11X, which supports a 33 watt fast charger. You will easily get 25 to 27 watt charging. That means from say 1% to 100%, you will take about 1 hour 20 to 1 hour 30 minutes, which in my books is pretty decent for a custom ROM. Even if you talk about the battery usage, you do see that we have been on battery for 18 hours, most of the time on standby. The screen has been used for 1 hour and 30 minutes, and we are still at 45%. So the battery usage is pretty rock solid, pretty smooth as well. The gaming experience on this particular ROM is pretty decent. It's not bad by any means. You can easily get 60 FPS. Remember, this device doesn't support 90 FPS by default, and I have not rooted this to try the 90 FPS mode. Then you have storage, sound. Under sound, you do have clear speaker and all the other options like vibrate to connect, vibrate on call waiting, vibrate on disconnect. Now remember, Aero OS is geared towards simplicity and smoothness. They don't really have a dedicated customization menu. So if you go to display over here, you will see that you have adaptive brightness. You will have always on display. You can set the minimum refresh rate to 60 or 120. Sad to see the 90 Hz option missing there. So increased touch responsiveness is an option over here as well. I don't know how much difference that makes, but I think if it works fine, it should make up for the 180 Hz touch sampling rate missing. Now then you have the customization menu in Aero OS 12, which is based on Android 12. You can of course enable themed icons, and if you go to change wallpaper, you will not really have any wallpapers over here. So there you go, themed icons are working fine. So Monet UI is working absolutely okay, no problem whatsoever. Now apart from this, if you actually go to location, safety and emergency, passwords and accounts, you have all these options, digital well-being, system. Under security, you don't have a face unlock yet, right? So if you go to system, you do have gestures, in which you have swipe to screenshot, toggle torch when screen off, prevent ringing, tap to sleep, playback control. So all these options and features are available, and the ROM works absolutely fine. I have no problems. I've had no problems using this as a daily driver. If you talk about the important matters like safetynet, well, that passes right out of the box. If you talk about device certification, Play Store certification is present. And if you talk about widevine L1, you should not really have any major problems because L1 certification is present. CPU throttled to 89% of its max performance, and the average score was 245,844 GIPS. So that's a decent score. Now, if you move on to Geekbench over here, and you talk about the scores over here, 960 single core, 2908 multi-core, and surprise, Antutu is doing a great job. The highest Antutu ever on Mi 11X, 702,175. Now I know that the CPU throttle test is excellent, the Antutu is excellent, and The Geekbench scores are a little low, but trust me, this ROM just flies. There might be a few bugs here and there which I might have not discovered in the 48 hours I used this ROM for, but highly recommended. AeroOS team is doing a great job, decent battery life, great performance, and good gaming experience. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this particular ROM. Until the next one, this is Kailash signing off at PhoneOps. Keep smiling. Take care. Goodbye.